Hope you're doing well. My name is Bedon. I'm an artist in Nashville, Tennessee. I produce, I make music. This is my studio. It's in an attic. We just moved, but I'm going to show you my session here for my new song Lilac that just came out. Uh, it took me a long freaking time to record this song and produce it and mix it because I had no idea what I was doing when I started making it. And that's the point of this whole thing is that I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Um, so I hope, to accomplish in this video, not to like boost my ego and be like, look how good I am at this. Because the point is that I didn't know what I was doing. I hope that if you have the itch to do some music producing, I hope that you would scratch it after watching this video. I hope that you would learn some new tricks, some new things, and I'd hope you give it a shot yourself because you don't need anyone's permission, and you don't need to know what you're doing, and you don't need to go to school to learn how to do this. You can just sift through a million YouTube videos and figure it out yourself. That's kind of the point. So, without further ado, here we go. Let's check this freaking session out. I started the song on guitar. I had it on guitar, and I had, just the chords and the melody and everything, and I was kind of like not really entirely sure what I was going to do with it. This was kind of the first, I think this was like basically like one of the first songs I ever tried to produce myself at all. I think this might be literally the first one. Because I had the song and I was like, oh, I need to record it. So I took this drum beat, this guy, I sped it up, I threw a freaking ton of plugins on it, and then I threw a little kick on it, underneath it. Just gonna turn this up a little. So yeah, this is kind of the drum beat. We got a bunch of freaking plugins on this thing. It's a little ridiculous, but we got a noise gate that's basically doing nothing. An SPL transient designer. I'm not going to open that because sometimes when I do, it makes Logic explode. And I don't want to make Logic explode right now. We got a shapeshifter, which is a plugin by Aberrant DSP who do Sketch Cassette. Fun compressor, very drastic. And then we got freaking Devil Lock Decapitator. I bought the effect rack because I was cheap and I didn't want to pay the whole shebang for the freaking, Soundtoys plugin bundle or whatever. Pro Q3, industry standard. Gain plugin, not even doing anything, but I'm leaving it on. We got an SSL EQ type situation. It's trial and error here, guys. I'm literally just fumbling around. Just not, there's absolutely no method to this madness. Would I do this again? Would I make things and deal with it in the same way going forward? No. I learned how to process audio better for sure. But that's kind of the point, lesson learned here. So yeah, not the end of the world here, gang. But yeah, all right, so that's going in, and then we got all this stuff that's also being processed, including a bunch of aux percussion and like little ditties that start like filtering in as the song goes, and the kick, and then they're all getting processed with all of these plugins. And yeah, it sounds like this, and then later in the song, one of the first characters we got coming is kind of this guy. Later in the song, we have this moment. Bunch of bongos under a filter, drums under the filter, and then we got this. Nice. Heck yeah. Sick, alright. So we got, that's really just like the drums being put through like a ring modulator. Ring shifter, sorry. Logic's ring shifter. Sounds super weird. Let's check him out. Just because I kind of wanted this like movement vibe. I don't know. System overload. 24/7, y'all. 24 freaking 7 with this stuff. Just a little movement underneath the main thing. And you got all the aux percussion. These like super aggressive snaps. I actually really liked them. Sounds kind of awful. This snare thing. He's got like a freaking reverb and a filter on him. Snap. Tamby, baby. Bongos. Quantized real bongos that I played. Hi-hats. The hi-hats have this plugin on them. Alex Hilton, A1 Trigger Gate, free plugin. So useful. I use it so freaking much. It just makes stuff dance. Has a bunch of like fun dancey things. We got this awful ride. Just a terrible sound, and I love it. Horrible. Freaking terrible. Alright, so let's solo the drums with the bass. Let's do it. Check it. Here we go. The bass is a Fender Mustang bass that my homie Ryan let me borrow. Very gracious of him. It's got flat wounds on it, and I ran it through my Korg CR4, which is a 4-track cassette deck that I use like a big dumb guitar pedal. It's got a bunch of fun effects on it, and a bunch of like amp modeling things. I ran so much stuff on this album through the CR4. I used it maybe a little too much, but that's okay. But yeah, the bass is up in the CR4 for sure. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Yo. Pretty nice. And we have two basses, you know, one of them's like normal and then one of them has more decapitator on it, just a little nastier. But yeah, that's the bass and that's the drums. There we go. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you, and was definitely one of the first things that kind of like started out the song, was this guy, which is the Casio SK1 from 1985. I got it for $100 on Facebook Marketplace. I was clocking in for a shift at the brewery, met this guy in the back alley of the brewery, put it in my car, got off my shift, plugged it in, and my life was changed because I just fell in love with this thing. A lot of people I know love this for its pads and its little dinky, you know, little lo-fi like flute and everything. It's got a bunch of like, it's 8-bit, you know, it doesn't sound great, but that's kind of the point. But what I fell in love with about this thing was the sampler, because it has this button, if you can see. Yeah, it's got a sample button. You have 1 second to sample something. And if you don't touch the keyboard for 7 minutes, that sample is deleted and gone forever, which is fun. But I would like have my guitar hooked up to it, and then I would take like the guitar and like hit the sample button with the headstock, and then play my little thing, and then play the sample back, and then quantize it with Logic. I would just literally hit Q, because why not? And then it would chop it up in a really like imperfect and fun way, and then that would be part of the song. And I did that all over this album with a bunch of different, like literally pretty much like every single piece of gear I own pretty much got thrown into the SK1. And it sounds like this. That's a guitar. the guitar that I sampled through into the SK1, some stupid little ditty, you know, just some little riff. And then over here in the song, it's panning left and right, which is fun. There we go. It's fun. Okay, anyway. All right, so we got that little guy. The next thing I'm going to show you is these little funky guitars. Check them. Yo, love it. The timing of those guitars was a complete accident because I didn't know about low input or low latency monitoring mode. So I had so much latency that when I tracked the second guitars, they were just like a second behind. So instead of being like on top of each other, it was going that boop bop boop bop boop bop boop bop, like, which is so much cooler than what I would have done. But yeah, this sound. It's a Tele going into the CR4 wah. Bunch of plugins on it. A lot of compression. Whatever. Getting processed all together with this guy. And later in the song, we have this. And all of this is going to get thrown under a filter. How nice. Very fun. Very fun, very lovely. Very fun for the whole family. But anyway. Yeah, the filter kind of automates up and down. But these sounds, we got... system overload again, guys. Every damn day. That was my life for 2 years. Is just system overload. All right, so we got choppy funk Roland's group processing. One of these is like a flute sound that's panned to the right, and one of them's this Wurlitzer synthesizer that I got for $60 on Facebook Marketplace. That's also broken. It's like from Japan, and it's from the 70s or 80s or something, and it's super weird, but it's got some good sounds. But this is the Roland synth that is also from the 80s and cheap and has Animal Crossing sounds. So here's Animal Crossing. Very silly. Quantized, of course. Very poorly. Filter. Swag. Let's check the whirly. Boom. I love that sound so much. Both. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. Very fun. Filter fun. Next on the stuff to check out, we're gonna check out guitar. And we're gonna start with these acoustic guitars, which I actually really like. They were recorded on this guitar, which is a 1970 Harmony H168. Look at the headstock, if it would focus, whatever. Super fun. I love this guitar. It's sick. It's not focusing. Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing with this camera stuff. But this guitar is sick, and it's like my favorite acoustic guitar I've ever owned. And it was a good deal. So I got it. And I love Harmony guitars. I love them. They're my favorite. All right, so here we go. So we got two sets of acoustic guitars. One of them is tuned to open D, and then I tuned it down to C in Logic with the transpose function. Sounds like this. Very nice. Okay, and then the next one, this guy, which I think have a capo on it, and it's just nice. quantized, of course. Why not? Here's both of them together. Very nice. At certain points, they get automated up to be kind of the driving force of the song. But they sound really nice. Okay? I like them. All right, we're scrolling. Let's just hear these acoustic guitars with the bass and the drums. And let's hear it. One of the next sounds that comes in pause. And here we go. This is one of the next sounds that comes in during that verse. I called it Fluticus Finch. Very clever. But it's a flute sound on that Roland synthesizer, and I'm panning it all around and playing with the pitch wheel, and it's during that second verse, and I like it a lot. See the panning automation here. Very fun. Another sound that comes in there is... Aha, here they are. Funky Stinkers, which is the... I have this Stratocaster that I put in Nashville tuning, if you know what I'm talking about. Basically, you take a pack of 12-string guitar strings, and you just string the highest strings onto your guitar. So it's like an octave up and stuff, and it's fun. It sounds really nice. And a lot of people do it on acoustic, but I like doing it on the Strat because the Strat has all those like weird like in-between positions and stuff, and I was like just not using my Strat really ever. And then I was just like, well, if I'm not using it, let's make it different. So I put the Nashville strings on it. And this is just it going through the CR4. But it has multiple appearances on this song, mainly being the guitar in the first verse, the main guitar. It's a Nashville Strat, and it's tuned an octave down. It sounds like this. Freaking sick. I love it. And then later it comes in with this little lead line, which is really fun. Check it out. Here's an entrance. Very nice. Freaking sick. I love that. Next thing I'll show is gonna be... Ooh, yeah, okay. So after Funky Stinkers come in, here comes the guitar solo thing. This is like a SK1, 3 different SK1 guitar solos. So 3 different SK1 samples, but like the part that I was playing into the SK1 was like kind of a solo-y part, and then I'm playing 2 different octaves of each of those, so it's like super psycho, super fun. We got Big Rippers, which is, you'll hear. I'll show you real quick. Here it comes. And in context, sounds like this. Nice. this is literally just like a freaking chord that I threw into the SK1, just C chord, power chord, and then sped it up in Logic. And then, we got Decapitator, Punish on. We take the same sound, we duplicate it, we pitch it down an octave, so it sounds like this. Oh, come on, man, come on. With that one on top. Freaking silly. And then each of these guys, they're painting all around, which I don't know if you can hear the painting because for some reason we might be in mono, but whatever. Here we go. That one's silly. The other one sounds like this. Boop. Very silly. Very silly. All right, then next we have a bunch of freaking Ebo guitars. So let's listen to these. Soundstone, this company, they make this guy, and it's like a little Ebo, which basically like resonates your string and like gives it sustain and makes it sound like a bowed instrument. And I would run that on one of my electric guitars through my tape machine and turn the knob all the way up, and it would just be this like freaking buzzsaw. And then you throw it in a reverb, and it sounds really nice. Check it out. Love it. Nasty. There's multiple different ones, because we have these ones, which are beautiful. And then these ones, which are just absolutely disgusting. In context. Come on. Context, here we go. Sick. Thank you, Logic. It's my own fault, guys. I use too many plugins on this stuff, but it's okay. It happens, you gotta do it. Trial and error, bro. Okay. I mean, I'm looking. I feel like that's most of the stuff. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay. There's a sound at the end here that ended up being like straight up one of my favorite sounds on the album. Oh, well, one of these things, we have this guy, which is just a little acoustic art. Very nice, very fuzzy, warm and fuzzy, and he is quantized, whatever. But this is the thing I'm talking about, my favorite thing. So sick. Love it. So, this sound is my brother, Jeffrey, who does not really, doesn't really play music, but I got him to come into my bedroom where I was working on the album at the time before I got married and before we had the basement studio where I made most of this. I got him to play a C chord on the guitar, on like an acoustic guitar, and I threw it into the SK1. This is what it sounded like. Which is crazy. But then we throw this trigger gate plugin on it, and then it's like it interacts so well now with the drums, which is so nice. love it. It makes me bounce my head, you know, just bopping around. Super fun. All right. So it seems as if that we've listened to most of the song on its own. So let's just we've gotten pretty much like all of the different characters in there. So let's just give it a rip from the top. Get a little bit of the action before we go into the vocals. So we had a little listen there, and you got to meet Willis and Phoebe, which is very fun. So now I'm going to take you through the la 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 and the vocal, and then we're pretty much done. So here's la 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 la, and there's some silly sounds in here, guys. It sounds ridiculous. Oh, here we go. Sounds like a baby grandma. Ridiculous. There you go. Pretty ridiculous, you know, we got a bunch of reverb and crap on it. But yeah, it's kind of the hook. It's kind of not. It's just kind of a part of the plethora of little ditties that are going on throughout the song. But then we got the vocals, which I believe was this microphone, which is an Electro Voice 626A dynamic mic, and then I ran it through the Korg CR4 and its compressor and its weird preamps, and the vocals sound like garbage, and that's kind of the vibe. I don't know, I just kind of went with it. Whatever. I don't wanna be your friend. We have like the main vocal. I'm sick of all that talking. A double on the right. But I don't wanna make you cry. Sounds like garbage. Lately I've been pondering. And we have this guy. About saying something, which is for myself. I did it a lot on this album. I'd like track to a bounce of the song, and I would like pitch that bounce up too. So I'd sing, like, instead of the song's in C, I'd sing it in D, and then I would take that vocal and then pitch it back down too, and Logic's, like, transpose function just makes it sound weird. It's kind of like Little Altar Boy with the formant thing, but I did it the hard way, like a silly little guy, you know? And then there's just, like, a freaking ton of stacks here of just, like, different vocals. But, I mean, later in the song, we got a bunch of different voices doing the lines. Oh, can you from the things I do? Have you seen what I've been up to? What do you read? Ridiculous. Oh, can you from the things I do? Have you seen what I've been up to? What do you really think? Swaying on the back porch, thinking how everything I have in my life is yours. Everything I have in my life is. Let's listen in context. Get that context. Nice, guys. So yeah, if I could play it, I'd play it for you, but the freaking thing is just garbage. So that's kind of the song. That's Lilac. That's all the ins and outs of it. Um, maybe you learned something from this. Maybe even just you found it interesting to just see all the different sounds and like what they sound like 101 or one-on-one, sorry. And I just really like hearing the individual sounds and how they interact together, and then how they create like the bigger picture of the sonic landscape. And I always enjoy that when I'm listening back or mixing or whatever, and it's just something that I think is really cool to hear. And then it makes the song like, a little more interactive. If you go back to listen to it, then you can be like, oh, there's that little thing that I got to hear about. You know what I mean? But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you make some art. Make some freaking art. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't need the nicest gear. You don't need anything, because sadly at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what it sounds like. It doesn't matter if other people think that it sounds a certain like standard way. All that matters is that you like the sound and you like the way it sounds. And if you're comfortable with that, you put it out, you move on, and you get better, and you just keep making stuff. So that's kind of the hope. That's the goal. Share the knowledge, share the wealth, teach people how to make stuff. And, also like if you make stuff and you make art and you make music, I really hope you think about doing some stuff like this, because then we all learn and we all get better. So like that would be great if you could upload more production videos, because otherwise you gotta sift through like a million piles of garbage on YouTube. There's a lot of bad videos out there. You know what I'm talking about if you've tried to sift through production videos on YouTube. But thank you for watching. My name's Bedon. I hope you have a good day. I hope you listen to the music, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Bye.